Hey guys, pretty exciting stuff. We have a lot of buffs and nerfs currently going on the Korean test servers right now. I've got the patch notes here for us to take a look at. I'll try to go through them as quickly as possible. I'll timestamp them for you guys who only care about particular classes. I left out a couple of classes that aren't anywhere like near coming to our region, but I did include the two that are just about to be added in the next couple months. Let's go. All right, first up, we've got the Assassins here, taking a look at the Deathblade. The Earth Cleaver skill had the frontal attack affix removed, which means it should just be a back attack now. The class engraving Surge was also nerfed. The Deathblade Surge is cast in the max level of Surge 0 form, regardless of the number of Death Orbs you have. When Arts is activated and skills other than basic attacks and awakening skills hit, their Surge enhancement effect is stacked every 0.4 seconds, max 20 stacks. This effect increases Deathblade's Surge damage up to 100% based on the stacks. Additionally, attack power is increased by 0, 0.5, and 1% per stack. When Death Trance ends, gain up to 100% Death Orb meter for each Surge enhancement effect stack you have. And let's see if the other ones are in here. Let's take a look at Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter, specialization, Shadow Burst, meter recovery factor increased from 0.5 to 0.54, so pretty minimal. Damage of normal and intrude skills is increased by 3.8% in PvE, so that's an overall buff there. Rush distance was increased. Grind chain, the quick prep was changed. On hit applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 10 seconds. Demonic slash, movement distance was increased. Excellent mobility changed. Once again, on hit applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 8 seconds. Rising claw, attack type changed from frontal attack to back attack. Howl. Skill cooldown reduced by 6 seconds. It's nice. PvE and PvP damage reduced by 15.95%. Shadow Burst meter gain reduced by 16.1%. Mana consumption reduced by 11.4%. Quick prep changed. On hit also gets that damage debuff applied, this time for 16 seconds. Scream of Fury was changed. Damage dealt to feared targets increased by 30, 33.5, 37.1, 40.7, and 44.3%. Running Rush. Following effect added. On hit applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 6 seconds. Deathclaw frontal attack affix was removed. Interesting. So it doesn't mention having a back added, so just losing the ability to have a frontal or a back on that, it looks like. Following effect added. On hit applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 6 seconds. This looks to be a common thing going on quite a few skills here. All right, we are moving on to the Gunners now, starting with Sharpshooter. Blade Storm, Silver Master, Hawk Gauge Restoration increased from 12, 13, 14, 16, 18 to 14, 15, 17, 19, 21. Deadly Slash, frontal attack removed, so it looks like just a back attack now. Stalker, frontal attack removed, and that one looks like it will just be nothing now. Makes sense, it's a leap skill. Awakening Fenrir's Messenger, added instant hit restores 25% Hawk Gauge. Overcharged hit restores 100% of Hawk Gauge. Hawk Gauge's recovery scales with specialization. Awakening. Hawk Gauge natural recovery increased by 50% in PvE and 30% in PvP. Class engravings. Loyal Companion. Summons Silver Hawk MK2, allowing move speed plus 4%. Silverhawk's basic AoE radius plus 60%. Silverhawk's basic attack damage plus 100, 200, 300%. Silverhawk's summon duration plus 30, 60, 100%. On basic attack or Wings of Storm hit, foes get a Mark of Death, increasing incoming damage by 14%. Additionally, the Summoned Hawk increases your attack by 3, 6, 10%. On to the Artillerist now. Looks we got increased the damage of all normal skills by 5%. Removed back attack, removed back attack, removed... Alright, so Gatling gun, flamethrower, gravity explosion all had their back attack removed. Homing barrage, stagger damage reduced to low. Air raid, stagger damage reduced to low. Multiple rocket launcher, stagger damage increased to high. Napalm shot, stagger damage was increased to highest. Removed the frontal attack affix. Let's see. Swing, stagger damage increased to high. Forward barrage, added counterattack affix. Barrage focus fire, range increased by 50%. Increased the speed between clicking the skill and the first hit of the attack by 16%. And the attack duration was reduced by 30%. Oh, but there's no mention of damage reduction, right? So with the duration reduced, that should just mean more damage and less time. So it just looks like mostly buffs to the Artillerist here. We got Awakening, heavy turret. Health of the turret in PvE increased by 300%. Their identity, enter barrage mode. Barrage mode can be instantly canceled by using enter barrage mode spacebar. If you are silenced, you can still exit the barrage mode by using exit barrage mode. Oh, that's pretty nice for them. Following combat items can be used while being on barrage mode. Time stop potion, camouflage robe, and splendid stealth robe. Upon entering the third firepower stage, the remaining buff time will be shown next to your gauge. Alright, next up we have the Deadeye. Enforced execution, removed frontal attack affix. Awakening, clay bombardment adjusted the skill hit area. And the class engraving pistolier was buffed. Handgun skill damage increased from 30, 45, 60 to 30, 50, 70. So not a lot of changes for the Deadeye. Very minimal, and then just a little bit of a buff to one of their class engravings. Nice and simple. Now we've got the Gunslinger now. Peacekeeper, attack type changed from frontal attack to back attack only. Catastrophe, damage in PvE is increased by 22%. And then kill confirmation was changed. Damage increased by 15, 21, 27, 33, 40%. If the target is below 50% HP, increases the damage by an additional 20%. Bullet range, lots of changes for this one here. Damage in PvE is increased by 23%, but is reduced by 20% in PvP. Ambush, reduced to the back attack damage from 30, 37, 45, 52, 60 to 20, 26, 32, 38, 45. That's fairly significant there, 15% at the top. Vital point shot change, removes the back attack affix from the skill, but increases the damage dealt by 5, 10, 16, 22, 28%, and crit rate by 10%. The flame shot was changed. Instead of crit damage, the damage dealt is increased by 60, 68, 77, 86, 95%. That's pretty big there at the end, man. 95%. Nice. Class engraving, time to hunt, buffed. Crit rate increased from 20, 27, 35 to 20, 30, 40%. All right, we're moving on to the mages now. First up, we have the Bard. Like Prelude of Storm, the counterattack affix was added. Sound Shock, Sacred Shock, debuff duration increased by 1 second. And that goes the same for Stigma, Note Bundle, Harp of Rhythm, Rhapsody of Light. And that is the end of it there. So very minimal changes for the Bard here. And let's take a look next at our Sorceress. And we've got Ice Shower, counterattack affix added. Squall, attack type changed from front attack to back attack. And the identity, during magic enhanced state, skill damage nerfed from 10% to 8%. During arcane torrent state, skill damage nerfed from 20% to 16%. And specialization scaling of magic enhanced and arcane torrent increased from 2.15 to 2.2. So again, another one where very minimal changes. Looks like both of the mages, really very minimal changes on the mages here. All right, let's get started on these martial artists. There's quite a few of them, and I'll probably even do the Glaivier since it is coming so soon to our version of the game. So first up, we've got the Scrapper. Increase the damage of all skills except for auto and basic attacks by 24%. 24% is pretty dang huge. That's going to be a big old DPS buff for them. And then we see here, ready attack change. Skill damage increased by 10, 16, 22, 28, and 35%. That's for the charging blow skill. And then for Fierce Tiger Strike, we've got Rough Smash changed. Skill damage increases by 300, 322, 344, 366, 388% based on the amount of enemies hit. That is crazy numbers. Continuous Push. Sturdy Armor change. Damage reduction effect of the skill increases to 6, 6.3, 6.6, 6.9, and 7.3% per stack with each consecutive attack. Judgment, attack type change from frontal to back. And looks like that applies to the next one's Roundup Sweep, Critical Blow, and Shredding Strike, all change from frontal attacks to back attacks. The Awakening, Mysterious Art, Blast of Ruination. Buffed, focus your mind and reinforce your gauntlet to deliver a powerful strike. Gather the energy in the air onto your gauntlets and thrust forward. The ground cracks, dispersing an energy wave that reaches as far as 14 meters, knocking foes back. The damage of the wave differs depending on the distance it travels. 6.8 KK damage. Okay, I'm sure the KK represents like, yeah, some kind of crazy damage representation number that I don't know their exact conversion for. We got 6.1, 5.4. Okay, so it looks like based on the distance it goes, it changes. So the closer they are to you, the more damage it does. The farther away, the less damage it does. All right, let's pull up the Soulfist now. Soulfist. Increase the damage of all skills except basic attack and awakening by 30%. So far, the martial artists look like they are getting damage love. Energy release. Ready attack change. Absorbs damage dealt to the caster and party members for 8 seconds. Up to a maximum value of 40, 42.8, 45.6, 48.4, 51.6% of the caster's maximum health. Pulverizing Palm. Ready attack change. Reduces the damage received while casting the skill by 30, 32.7, 35.4, 38.1, and then 40.8%. Lightning Palm. Prepared attacker changed. Increases the energy consumption by 20% and the damage dealt by 15, 21, 27, 33, and 40%. Flash Step. Victory Shout changed. Using the skill has a chance of 50, 57, 64, 72, 80% to remove one harmful effect. That's pretty crazy, especially since you can also like do this skill multiple times in a row, like repeatedly. Energy Bullet. Trance. The first bullet is shot about 40% faster. Nice. Energy Blast. PvE damage increased by 11.7%. Concussion changed. Attack range increased by 5 meters. Weak point detection changed. During skill use, gain push immunity. Ranged hit changed. Increases the skill's stagger level to high. Ruthless changed. Increases the damage dealt with each hit by 8, 9, 11, 13, 15% up to 40, 45, 55, 65, 75%. Tenacity changed. Increases damage dealt to push immune foes by 40, 47.2, 54.8, 62.4, up to 70%. And if Ferocious Strike is selected, the holding time of the skill is reduced by 50% without reducing the damage dealt. Nice. Merciless Pummel increases the last attack's attack range by 40% if the skill tree Cold-Hearted is applied. Bolting Crash. Attack type changed from frontal attack to back attack. PvP. Increases the damage of all skills except the basic attack and awakening by 9%. Nice. Awakening. Increased the damage of awakening skills by 55.6% in PvE. Identity using X key instantly ends the hype state. Nice. That's actually nice. I have a Soulfist ult, and it kind of bothered me that you can't end the state if you want to. Class Engraving. Energy Overflow. Buffed. Damage increased from 5, 10, 15 to 6, 12, 18% if the energy is below 30%. All right, and Striker Boy time now. Let's see. Hardly any changes for Striker. I'm actually a little bit surprised since they seem to not really be that popular. I thought they would get some more changes, you know, to try to entice people into the class. Esoteric Skill. Lightning Tiger Strike. The skill won't penetrate boss type foes anymore. Sky Shattering Blow. Attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. Esoteric Skill. Spiral Impact. Attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. This is an interesting one to me because this is also the counter attack. Right? And so that's going to be a little bit interesting that they're removing the frontal attack from it and making it only back attack. So does this help you maybe do like more DPS with it in the rotation while it's, you know, you're hitting them in the back, but you could still use it as a counter attack? I find it this one to be a little bit of an interesting change. Changing a counter attack skill, which has to hit from the front in order to counter from a front to a back. A little bit odd. All right, it is time for the Wardancer. Increase the damage of all normal skills by 18%, esoteric skills by 14%, and awakening skills by 14%. Wind's Whisper. Oath of the Wind changed. Increases your mana recovery speed by 20, 21.2, 22.4, 23.6, 25% for 6 seconds. Flash Heat Fang. Increase the damage of the skill in PvE by 8%. Sky Shattering Blow. Attack type change from frontal attack and back attack to back attack only. Again, I already talked about this, how this is kind of a weird move in my opinion. Remove the frontal attack part on it when it is a counter attack skill also. Sweeping Kick. Increase the damage of the skill in PvE by 12%. Striker has the same skill. I don't understand why this change isn't on the Striker also. A little bit odd. Esoteric Skill. Spiral Impact. Attack type change from frontal attack to back attack only. Class Engraving. First Intention. Buffed. Damage of normal skills increased from 15, 20, 25 to 15, 22, 30%. All right, last for the martial artist, even though there's so many and it's not in yet, it's coming so soon. We're going to go ahead and cover it also. Vault. Attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. Wheel of Blades. Attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. Red Dragon's Horn. Determination damage dealt buffed from 15, 21, 27, 33, 40 to 20, 26, 32, 38, 45. Perfect Zone damage buffed from 40 through 70 to 45 through 75. Spear of Destruction changed. On top of the existing effect, the crit damage is increased by 0% up to 44%. Aiming distance changed. Crit damage increased by 100, 115, 130, 145, up to 160%. Thrust of Destruction. Spear tip thrust changed. Crit rate plus 50% and crit damage is increased by 5 through 50%. That's a pretty fat range there. Spiraling Spear. Added counterattack affix to the skill. Spear tip thrust changed. Increases crit rate by 15 through 40%. Four-headed Dragon. Spear tip thrust changed. Increases crit rate by 15 through 40%. Violet Thrust. Damage dealt buffed from 50 through 80 to 70 through 105. That's another pretty big buff. Starfall Pounce, ground explosion, damage dealt buffed from 70 through 105 to 80 through 120. Another pretty significant damage buff. This is good news for all of you looking forward to the Glaivier coming in. Looks like they're getting quite a bit of buffs to damage here. All right, let's get into the warriors, the ones I care about most, of course. And starting off with my main here, the Berserker. Crime Hazard, attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. Chainsword, attack type change from frontal attack to back attack. This is another interesting one because it has the counter attack on it. Assault Blade, piercing strike change. On hit, applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 6 seconds. Cut, change, cannot be leveled up further via skill tree. Let's see, Mountain Crash, added counterattack to the skill. That is very interesting. It doesn't mention having it removed from this one, so I wonder if that means we're going to have 2 counterattack skills or if it's going to be changed completely. Let's see, Earthquake CC extended by 1 second. Nice. Enhanced change. On hit, applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 10 seconds. Hellblade, Deadly Blow, outgoing damage nerfed from 80 through 120% to 55 through 90.2% when your HP is 50% or lower. So this is a nerf to the Mayhem build. See, Red Dust, change. On hit, the skill deals damage and increases your attack power by 6 through 24% for 6 seconds. Skill cooldown reduced from 30 to 20 seconds. That's nice. Quick Prep changed. On hit, applies a debuff to the target, which increases damage taken by 6% for 16 seconds. Amplified damage changed. Doesn't apply a debuff to the target. Instead, the skill damage is increased by 120 through 170%. Additionally, the skill tree can be leveled up. Obviously, since it just showed me a range. Sword Storm, Flame Storm, outgoing damage nerfed from 100 through 120% to 55 through 90.2% when HP is 50% or lower. Another nerf to the Mayhem build. Class Engraving, Berserker Technique, buffed. That was needed since no one was using it in NA. Crit damage increased from 30 through 50% to 35, 50, 70%. Pretty significant. I'm not sure if it's going to really be, I don't know if it'll really be enough to get people to switch. We'll see though, because Mayhem also got nerfed. Fury meter remains at max and turns into burst mode with the power of darkness. Outgoing damage plus 3, 7, 14, so those numbers are lower. Move speed's the same. All incoming damage reduction remains the same. When turning into the burst mode, convert into 25% max HP and cannot exceed that. Yes. And here is another part of the nerf. Can only receive 40% of healing effects and 25% of shields effects. Press the X key to cancel burst mode and recover 25% of max HP, but cannot burst for 30 seconds. So that part remains unchanged. This right here, so we're getting less constant damage in the state. And now, basically, the way it was working before is you could kind of almost feel tankier as long as you could survive things that would do one-shots, because you had the DR and the lower health, but you could still get full effects from healing. So support characters were like very, very strong for you. This is really going to change that with the reduction of the damage. This right here, already it's going to put you a lot squishier feeling. This getting buffed a little bit. We'll see. We'll see if maybe things switch around and people start using the other builds. Let's take a look at the Gunlancer. Surge Cannon. Increased skill damage by 3.3% in PvE. Precise Barrage. Damage dealt buffed from 40 through 70% to 45 through 75%. Overcharge. Damage dealt buffed from 60 through 95 to 65 through 100%. Charged Stinger. Weak point detection. Damage dealt buffed from 20 to 45 to 25 to 50%. Counter Gunlance. Bombardment Spear. Damage dealt buffed from 50 through 83 to 95 through 138.5. That is monstrous. So it looks like all buffs for the Gunlancer here. Moving on to our boy, the Paladin. Punishment. Attack type changed from frontal to back. Execution sword also from frontal to back. And holy sword from frontal to back. Very, very minimal changes there. And I guess we'll take a look at Destroyer also, since we know he is coming very recently, or very soon as well. PvE, Gravity Impact. Changed charges 2 gravity cores on hit. Lucky core changed. Increases attack speed by 10 through 18%. This is a nice buff right here. Because before, you basically, like, Lucky core was how you get the extra core, possibly. And now they've just taken Lucky core, made it default into the skill, it looks like, and then changed Lucky core to be an attack speed increase, which is nice for a slow character. Power Strike changed. Charges 2 gravity cores on hit. It looks like they're doing this across the board, or yeah, it looks like they're doing this across the board. And then Lucky core is changed to on hit the target's defense is reduced 12% for 10 seconds. And Quick Prep changed, increases attack speed by 10 through 18%. Jumping Smash changed, charges 2 gravity cores on hit, and then the Lucky core was changed to again be target's defense is reduced 12% for 14 seconds. Earth Smasher changed, charges 3 gravity cores on hit, and Lucky core was changed, increases attack speed by 10 through 18%. So again, this is looking like every skill was given at least 2 to 3 cores default, and had Lucky core changed to be something better. Awesome. Trace of Pain changed, grants push immunity while casting the skill. Run and Crash changed, 2 gravity cores on hit. Skill cooldown reduced by 2 seconds. Mana consumption reduced. Reduced PvE and PvP damage by 7.8%. But then, it's probably to balance this out, right? Because Lucky core was changed to increase attack speed from 10 to 18%. And Quick Prep was changed. Reduces the damage taken while casting the skill by 30 through 40.8%. Gravity Force changed. Charges 2 gravity cores on hit. Lucky core was changed. Reduces on hit the enemy's attack speed by 20 through 28%. And movement speed by 40 through 57.6% for 4 seconds. Heavy Crush. Lucky core changed. Increases the damage dealt to lesser and normal foes by 100 through 145%. Dreadnought. Charges 2 gravity cores on hit. Sharp Hammer. Damage nerfed from 40 through 70 to 30 through 60%. And superior, I'm guessing that's superior charge, not change. Changed. On hit, the target's defense is reduced by 12% for 10 seconds. Endure Pain changed. Charges 3 gravity cores on hit. Slightly reduced the paralysis duration on hit. Attack range increased from 4 meters to 6. That's kind of crazy. I already feel like, it had a pretty wide attack range when I did it. Wide hit attack range increased from 15 to 25%. All right, so they're really helping you out here, making Endure Pain. Oh, no, you know what? I'm confusing with the Gunlancer. So maybe they were trying to make Endure Pain function a little bit more like the Gunlancer's Shout, which does have like a massive range on it. It's very good for clear in like your Chaos Dungeons. Repulse changed. Charges 3 gravity cores even if the attack misses. Trace of Pain changed. On hit, taunts non-player foes for 3 seconds. Challenge or higher foes cannot be taunted again for a set period of time. Okay, they are. They're making this very similar to the Gunlancer's Shout. Power Shoulder changed. Charges 2 gravity cores on hit. Perfect Swing. Concussion damage increased from 20 through 45 to 25 through 50%. Sharp Hammer changed. When you have 3 gravity cores, damage dealt is increased by 30 through 60%. Unnecessary Time changed. Charge time reduced by 1 second after charging. Increases attack speed during swing animation by 20 seconds. Intemperance. Overcharge damage increased from 100 through 45 to 125 through 175. This is still going. The freaking Destroyer is getting completely buffed and reworked here. I need to take 1 second for a little sip, and we'll be right back. Holy long. You know, I had to get a little bit of moisture in my mouth again. Seismic Hammer, absolute strength changed while casting. Damage taken is reduced by 30 through 40.8%. Sharp Wall changed. When you have 3 gravity cores, damage dealt is increased by 40 through 70%. Earth Eater changed. Charges to create a huge hammer out of rocks to smash on the enemies. When charged, increases damage by 200 through 266%. If overcharged, increases damage by 290 through 377%. Scattering rock fragments deal 50% of the damage dealt on hit. Cooldown increased by 6 seconds. Class identity, activate hypergravity, generates up to 3 gravity cores. Oh man, it feels like I just read a whole book basically. If you appreciate the content, maybe hit me with that like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much to all my YouTube members and Patreon people. Really appreciate all the support helping me keep the channel going. Catch y'all in the next video.